I'm just going to show you how you can save your work as either Photoshop files, JPEGs, and also how to save them onto your Creative Cloud. So first of all, if I was working on something on Photoshop, I'll just quickly make a little merge of these two, and I will make them black and white, and I will do a little click on the right layer and do a little merge. Let's just say that's my photo, but if I wanted to keep working on it, I need to save it as a Photoshop file. So that means you'd go File, Save As, and you've got a couple of options. You can save it to your cloud documents, which if you're signed into Creative Cloud, it means that it'll just save there. So any computer you log into, you'd be able to access it. If you wanted to save it on your computer, you would do the same thing, but instead of clicking on Save to Creative Cloud, you'd go on your computer, and then you can from here choose if you want to save it in your desktop or documents, whatever, and save it that way. And again, you can see that the format's for Photoshop. So that means, and I'm just going to close out of it to show you, it means that if you come in here another day and you want to open it, you can just go File, Open, and you can find your photo in Creative Cloud here, and you'll see it still has all your layers in there because you saved it as a Photoshop file. The only thing it doesn't retain is your history. That disappears, but it does keep all your different layers, so you can still keep editing your photo. If you wanted, the thing about Photoshop files are that you can only open them in Photoshop. So if you're wanting to save something to put on your Google Slides or to email someone for them to have a look at, you really need to flatten the file so it's not so huge, and make it a JPEG so it's easier to send. A Photoshop file can be like 180 megabytes as opposed to a flattened photo, which is a JPEG, which might only be like 4 or 5 megabytes. So it's quite a huge difference in file size. So if I wanted to make this a JPEG for my slides or for email or something, similar process, but you need to go to File, Save a Copy, and then you can tell it what sort of file type. So if I wanted to save it on my computer, I could tell it instead of a Photoshop format, I would simply change this to JPEG and then press save. Just choose where you want it to save and then press save. And whenever you're saving something as a JPEG, another screen will pop up with the JPEG options. You always want to make sure it's as big as you can make it so the quality is as good as it can be, unless you've got restrictions on size, like if you're entering a competition or something and it says the file size must be smaller than 5 megabytes or something, in which case you'd make it slightly smaller. But you can see at its largest, this photo is only 1.6 megabytes. So I'm going to press OK, and now it'll be saved as a JPEG. Okay, so that's simple ways to save your work in different file formats.